Hey everyone, how you doing today? This is Hillary, the marketing mom. Glad you're able to join me. We are live. It is 12:31 on the Eastern Seaboard, and I am glad to be able to join you today because today I have a little reminder for everybody. So for those of you now joining and now hopping on, don't forget to share this broadcast. And if you're seeing this for the first time, don't forget to like the page and follow so that you get notifications every time I go live. But who am I? I am Hillary, the marketing mom. Glad to meet you. And I am a social media manager, digital marketing strategist, business coach, and trainer. And what I love about what I do is that every day I get to learn new things and reinforce things for myself. The obvious things, obviously, but sometimes the obvious isn't so obvious. One of the reasons I jumped into this business in the first place is because I wanted to be able to create that lifestyle business and be there for my children. It was more for my children than this lifestyle business about being able to jump on a plane and jet set somewhere, okay? It's about, what I'm able to do for my family, for my kids, our growing family. And when I first started 4 years ago, I was in a job and I was doing it part-time and everything. And I was going to work. I just didn't like it. I was just like, this is just not cutting it. Not that I didn't like what I was doing, all right? And this is the difference. A lot of people, they hate what they're doing and they hate work. They're probably never going to succeed in entrepreneurship because you work 100 times, 100% harder in your own business, trust me, than you do at a job. But it's those who do that and stick to it. They stick to it for the 5-10 years that is needed to build that foundation, build that following. And that's actually what we're going to be talking about today. And so I decided to leave my day job and jump into this online world of marketing. All right. So today what I want to be sharing with you is a social media. Oh, and that should be tipped. Sorry. So I got a typo there. But the social media tip, mind the spelling, and you can succeed in this business regardless of whether you are actually an expert at spelling or not. Clearly. Is building your audience. And I just got off a call with our community manager inside of Elite Marketing Pro. And for those of you who don't know, I am the social media manager of Elite Marketing Pro. And we were talking about, what are the different strategies and how a lot of people, even big companies, million-dollar companies like Elite Marketing Pro, sometimes do social media a little backwards. But it's not because it's the wrong thing. It's just because, there are certain times that you do certain things. But what I want to share to you is the fundamentals. And the fundamentals, the first thing that you want to be doing with your social media is building your audience. Regardless of what's going on around you, regardless of whether you've got the money for advertising or anything like that, you want to always be building your audience. And she shared, and she reminded, because sometimes people say things in different ways. So that's why, I want to share it with you today in terms of what are those 4 cornerstones, all right? And I have shared this in a different sense, all right, in terms of what are the 4 pillars of social media marketing. Well, digital marketing, and I pulled it out to more digital marketing. But when we look at it, it's basically the same thing. It's 4 major things. And what does everybody focus on? Selling. All right. So we talked about social and the different social selling, social distribution, or what we call creating authority. All right. Creating your authority, networking. All right. So networking with the different people, if you associate with a specific brand. All right. So mothers in particular, maybe they'd associate with specific brands, networking in that sense. Content distribution, which is building your authority, and then the listening. And listening is part and parcel about building your audience, all right? And that's what we talked about, where, a lot of companies, they start at the end with the selling, which is basically driving paid traffic, okay? Now, the reality is that works, but it's not the ideal, because a company could come online and say, we're going to drive paid traffic, and it will generate sales, but will it generate a sustainable following? All right. And remember, one of the things that I often talk about is that you don't want to go and get the masses of people. All right. You don't want to get the full bell curve. What you want to do is get that following of people, that are on the left side of that bell curve of the law of diffusion bell curve, all right? You want to get the people that are over on that left side who are your true fans, your true followers. Because if you build that type of group, and I'm not saying in terms of number, because we're talking about the type of people, those type of people that identify with your why constantly, that group is going to keep growing and growing and growing. But they are your greatest fans, okay? They're not the entire world of people, the bell curve. They're not the entire world of people, right down to the late laggers, okay? So your audience, when you're building your audience, you're building the people who are going to be your greatest fans. Now, great for you if you could build your greatest fans to 1 million. Most people have 1,000 really good fans. And you know what? 1,000 people who are always going to buy from you, provide you continually put out proper value, great value that matters to them. All right? That is always going to, make a difference for you and your business. But you've got to build that audience. You've got to nurture that audience, and you've got to really take care of them, okay? It's not about, running a likes campaign and getting a whole lot of people to like your page, and then all of a sudden it's just like, nobody really connects with me. Building your audience is about connecting with people. It's about making sure that they know who you are and you know who they are. And sometimes that's very difficult, because in the online space, you're sitting down behind your computer or your phone, and I'm sitting down here behind my computer and my phone. And unless you say, hey, how you doing, or comment, and then we start maybe messaging through Messenger or whatever, we're probably not going to get to know each other. But you're still here every day building your audience. And that's one thing that's very important in the online world. You've got to continually be there to show people that you do care, to build your audience, to build that relationship with them. And then eventually what you're going to start doing is seeing the engagement happening. All right. It's not going to happen today. It's not going to happen tomorrow. Just the other day, I went and I looked at the archives, and this live is probably my 127th live. Okay. I've been doing live streams. I've been doing these live streams almost every day. And this was number 127. I recently just started uploading all of the replays to YouTube. And the last one that I uploaded was 124. So could you imagine, I've been doing this 124, you could say days, all right? 124 days of live stream. And you do remember back sometime I was really sick, and then basically I was gone for almost a month and a half, all right? So that was quite a few days that I missed. But outside of that, 124 days of coming and talking to you, that's building your audience. And that does not happen overnight. Okay, it does not happen overnight. And a lot of people, they get very impatient. They get very impatient with what we call organic social media, because it doesn't bring in any money initially, because it's laying the foundation. You know how impatient, as an engineer, I always like to use this example, and my fellow engineers, you'll totally understand, okay? Because when we're building houses, we spend like, I don't know, 80% of a project plan, okay? So I'm getting a little technical here. 80% of a project plan of any building, or correct me if I'm wrong, I'm going to be very conservative. Let's say 70% of it is below ground. It's where people are not seeing. And the funny thing is, as an engineer, we know this. We know that you spend hours and hours, weeks and weeks, months and months laying a foundation. There's so much work to go on. And I remember this was so interesting, because as an engineer, I remember working with a lot of the business folks, all right? And this was a good few years back when I was working in a company. They're building out an industrial park, and everybody kept wondering, why is it the park can't open? What's taking so long? Da, 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 da. And being an engineer, I'm like, well, they're doing the work. It's just like you can't see it because it's underground, okay? We're talking underground piping for water, we're talking underground piping for sewage, we're talking underground electricity, we're talking underground structures to build buildings. So that's a lot of stuff, and we're not talking 500 square feet, we're talking 10 acres of land, okay? So let's be realistic. if you think about your business and the effect that you're going to have on social media, I want you to compare it to building a building. All right. Yes, it will take time, but 70% of it is going to be underground. All right. A lot of people, I've been getting a lot of comments recently from people who are seeing, and they're saying, oh my goodness, you just started your business. And I'm just like, no, I started 4 years ago. I've been building and building and building. And maybe you're not the type of person who wants to wait 4 years to see a business kick off, but then you're not the type of person for entrepreneurship. I'm just going to be real, right? I'm just being real with you. That's just the nature of the beast, okay? If you can't wait 4 years for a business to kick off, then you need to go and get a job. Find your next job, because that's all you're going to have. You've got to be willing to put in the work and lay the foundation, okay? The first year of my business, I wrote a blog post every day. Every day I wrote a blog post. And if you realize what has been happening is every year there's a different focus, okay? And that's the same thing that you've got to do with your business. But guess what? Even if every year there's a different focus, it's still building your audience. It's still continually building your audience. Do I write a blog post every day now? No. I write maybe 2 or 3 blog posts a week. But that's still building my audience, okay? But do I do video every day? Yeah, Monday through Friday through my Facebook Lives. And that's called building your audience. It makes no sense spending money on advertising if you have nobody to market and advertise to. Because if you try to advertise to the masses, chances are you might get 1 or 2 sales, but you're not going to get those loyal, raving fans that we've been talking about. You've got to build your loyal, raving fans who are going to always raise their hand and say, yes, pick me, pick me, pick me. I want to work with you. All right. And why would anybody want to work with me? Because I work with moms. I work with moms who truly, truly believe that home is where they belong. But they also fully understand I've got to put food on the table, and guess what? Food comes at a price. So I've got to work from home. All right. Yes, it's going to be hard in the first 4 to 5 years, but you're going to see the benefits, because when your residual income starts coming in, and doing things online is what creates that residual income. When you start creating those one-to-many models for whatever business it is that you're developing, then you will see the benefit, all right? You will start to see the benefit. And moms who are willing to invest in their time, invest their dollars to be able to learn and educate themselves in how to do this, those are the moms that I work with, all right? Because they truly believe that a better society can come out of them being closer to home than going out, working, being stressed out, coming home, yelling at the children, taking out all the stress on the family, all right? That is what breaks down societies. And at the end of the day, this isn't about making a buck at the end of the month. This is about leaving the world a better place than you met it. And a lot of us, we've met the world in a really horrible place, okay? We either met it good and it started declining, or we just came in and we met it at a place where it was just like, really, where have our values gone? Where have our systems gone? Okay. And I'm going to leave with that because I don't want to go off onto a rant, because there are quite a few things right now that have been a little disturbing as a mother. All right. As a mother, and which is why mothers, you need to create and own your family, create and own the vision for your family. All right, I'm not talking isolation. I'm not saying pick up your family and go in a mountain. All right, no, you've got to do what it takes to create that vision for yourself, for your life, and for your family, because nobody should dictate how you live in terms of your family. All right, if you want this for your children, then you've got to go and get it. And if that means creating an online business, then that's what it means. It's as simple as that. Okay, so for those of you who want to learn how to grow that business online, growing a business online takes time, it takes effort, and it takes hard work, but it's not impossible. All you've got to do is click on the link in the description of this video, hilarydefreitas.com/AMF. For those of you who don't know our traction marketing formula. And I like to say AMF because it's like you give a man a fish today, you feed him for a day. You teach a man to fish. you feed him for a lifetime. That's what the traction marketing formula has done for me and for many others inside of the Elite Marketing Pro system. So I encourage you to click on that link, join me and our amazing community. Start learning how to really build your audience from ground up. Okay, start learning how to engage with them and then build traffic. All right, so have a great day. I will see you tomorrow. Tomorrow is Friday, which doesn't mean anything in the home-based business, but yep, tomorrow is Friday, so join me 12:30 Eastern. I will see you again. It's Hillary, the marketing mom, and I'm out.